It's your girl Nikita.
It's your girl Tash.
And you're listening to Two Chickpeas in a Podcast. You know that we love to have special guests. Today is no different. We're joined by athlete, marathon runner, chef, cook, spiritual, yoga loving, top knot appreciating Vim from Indian Matchmaking. He's on Two Chickpeas in a Podcast.
Hi everyone. I think you've gave me too many accolades for actually what I do.
No.
That is it, though.
You do all of the things though, so it's not a lie. I don't lie. I don't lie on this podcast. Don't lie.
Thanks for joining us. We're so happy that you're here with us.
Thank you for having me. This is an experience.
So we're taking Vim's virginity today.
His podcast virginity.
Yeah. Luckily, his other virginity went a long time ago. But yeah, podcast virginity is being taken today. You're here with the Two Chickpeas. No hiding in the podcast.
Okay.
Are you ready for this experience?
I'm ready for it.
Okay, first things we need to know, right? You're Gujarati. We're Gujarati. What's the ultimate Gujarati snack for you?
It's like Jevro.
Jevro, yeah.
And if you want to be really fresh, it's like bustle. It's Jevro, but it's just like more... I think it's more authentic. It's like old school kind of like.
Okay, I love it. I already know.
I think it's from the gum kind of like.
Ooh.
It's a different mix.
I love it. I'm sure that's.
Yeah.
Like,
I need to be put on. So.
And you know where you need to go because where I'm from, you need to go Leicester. There's a place.
Is
a
it?
little corner shop place that.
Damn it, man!
Yeah.
Mum's just come back.
From
You need to get like homemade, fresh kind of.
Yeah.
We're really. Jevro.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're really lucky. Do you have aunties we have like aunties who make it all fresh? Like we're very sport like that. We'll have like fresh chocolate, like homemade, Jevro.
You're really getting into the snacks, aren't you?
We're
I'm hungry.
about us Gucci snacks. We're serious about them.
Me too.
I'm still hungry.
I've not got many aunties, but I've got like one or two that love like Diwali time.
Yeah.
Making loads of like the snacks and the foods and the Jevros and the spicy one and this one and that one and just
Nice.
I mean, that's my like kryptonite. I'd sprinkle it on everything.
Yeah. Mum has it with like a bit of dahi, a bit of yogurt. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she does that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. No. Okay.
Mine just straight cup of chai.
Masala bari chai.
No sugar.
Yeah,
Oh,
sugar.
you know.
Oh, I'm
Sugar
a person that puts gar in it.
What? What do you mean?
Like gar.
What's going on?
Like sugar. You know the lump of sugar.
Oh,
You call it
that,
something
yeah.
different.
No. We just don't use it.
We have it. We have it.
You
at
have
home.
it?
We have
It
like a
goes in
massive tub of
everything.
it. Yeah.
That's what you should put in. It's
We
good
have
for you.
it.
Yeah, but it doesn't go in our tea. That's what I'm trying to
No,
say.
but it's really good
No.
for you. It's better than refined sugar.
Oh, really?
That's like sugar cane, raw sugar cane. Like
Oh, I'll have to
solid
try
stuff.
that.
We need to know because we are trying to do like better lifestyle, healthier lifestyle. And yeah, so we need to know because we are chai lovers and we'll be drinking lots with the autumn winter period approaching.
Yeah.
Every day, chai.
Every day.
But I'm a coffee person too.
Oh yeah.
I've just recently started getting into coffee.
Like
I'm
cheap
trying-
builder's coffee, or are you going?
I get it from. I have to have it from the coffee machine. I don't know why. Bougie.
Yeah, that's bougie.
But I always get latte, and I need to like advance to the next step. Actually, I'm doing intermittent fasting actually,
Yeah.
and I have my black coffee in the morning.
Okay.
Again, it's from the machine, but
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Actually, I also did make an instant coffee recently. You know what? I actually am evolving without knowing I'm evolving.
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I like a good builder's coffee. Just like,
it?
just instant coffee,
Yeah.
just a bit of milk.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit fancy with milk.
Oat milk.
Oat milk.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
Come on.
Barista, shake that baby.
And then sometimes just a bit of instant coffee and a little tiny bit of sugar. Just a little. If it's black, it's gotta have sugar in it.
Right.
If it's white, then no sugar.
Because you're sweet enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know. That's what he wants to say.
I'm just lining you up to ask me that question. That's what it is.
I know, honey, and I'm taking the bait. I'm taking it. So you're Gujarati, like us.
Yeah.
You're London boy.
I'm not a London boy.
No.
This is the thing. Everyone thinks, well, some people think I'm a London boy. I'm actually from the Midlands.
Oh.
Yeah, we can hear it in your accent though.
Where in the Midlands?
You
are
got a
you
little
I'm
bit of
from
a
Leicester, yeah.
Yeah,
Leicester.
But
Leicester.
everyone says, but then when I meet people, they say, you don't sound like you're from Leicester. Then I think, what do Leicester people sound like?
I don't know
You've
what
got a
Leicester people sound like.
slight twang,
Twang.
in it. It's the slight accent. So you can tell when someone's from Leicester. You're not no
That-
Brummy.
yeah.
You're from Leicester, yeah.
But then I spent a lot of time in Nottingham and Wales where I worked. So it's a bit of a bland
Mishmash.
accent. Yeah, it's a bit of a mishmash.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm from Leicester. I'm loud and proud to say I'm from Leicester.
yeah, good. It's the
Yeah.
land of the Gudgies.
It is.
They are
It
all
is. That
there.
should be your homeland.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you girls are from Hounslow, right?
Well, the homeland of the Goodies in London's Harrow, isn't it? So yeah,
It is. I've not spent much time there, but I need to go visit there. And
Harrow's all the Goodies.
We'll
are.
go
I
there.
need to
We'll go
walk
there for
down the
dinner.
street. That's what I need to do. I'm saving it.
We'll take you. We'll take you. So yeah, Goodie snacks established.
Yeah.
What about you though? Because obviously you're mainly known from Indian matchmaking, but we want to put that to the side for now.
Oh, okay.
And
I
just
appreciate
want-
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know the real me.
You're
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
You're just more than a Netflix show, babe.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a real person. Behind it.
Exactly. Yeah. So what do we need to know about you? Because from your Instagram, which we obviously preed, you love to run the marathon. You even make Gujarati snacks. I saw on your Instagram.
Yes.
And you love to travel, yoga, spiritualness. Am I getting your vibe?
No, I'm like I think I'm an old soul trapped in a. Can I say I'm a young person's body?
You are a
Yeah,
young person.
You are a young
honey.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do like. Well, I come from a background of not being healthy. So
Wouldn't have guessed
Interesting.
that.
15 to 20, I was alright, chubby DG.
Oh.
No, I was proper chubby, and then it was just kind of like just too many Indian snacks, and then I was just like eating potatoes. I was vegetarian actually up until I was 18. Then I went to university,
And
And
then
then you
I
discovered.
discovered my friends. I moved out of Leicester. I went up north. I discovered other types of food that are not just potatoes.
are you a very good bad boy though? Do you eat beef?
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah.
I really like a steak. I really like a
I'm
steak.
saying
love
on
a
TV.
steak.
I mean, I do like steak.
Yeah.
If I had to, you know what? One thing, I don't eat pork.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
same.
eat pig. But everyone's like, why don't you? Is it religious reasons? I said, no, for the same reasons. I think there's better meats out there. So, there's either have a steak or a sausage. And I
Yeah.
would prefer to have something that reared a bit better and is a bit better for you than just having a mishmash of meat in some intestines and squeezed out a little
Yeah.
rubber tube. So, I'll put my hand up. I do like a good steak. I can cook a good steak. And yeah, so going back to our story about just when I was younger, I was just eating so much potatoes, so many carbs.
That's my life now.
It's carb central.
Yeah.
There was
Carb
a place in
central.
Leicester. No,
This
he
is-
knows about this.
The hot
It's
potato
a
shop.
You
Is
know
that-
about it.
Wait, hang on. Tell me where.
In Leicester, bro.
The hot potato shop.
Bro,
What
it,
is
did,
it?
Wow,
not-
is
they
it the
don't-
chips place? Is it just they
it does
just do
every
chips?
kind of
It does
potato
all
in
the
Leicester.
potato- It was
Yeah?
like a red shop. I think it was
Red
red.
shop?
Red shop.
Red
Yeah,
shop.
red
I mean
shop.
the building's red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was red outside. I haven't been there since I was
We
like
were
maybe like
kids.
7, 8.
I missed out.
Does it still exist?
No.
Do you
I
mean
don't-
Bruce?
Oh, it doesn't.
Bruciani's? Is it a Chucket potato shop?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it
That's,
had jacket but they would do every kind of potato. They do like every kind of chips under the sun.
okay. I think I
Jacket
know.
potatoes. I think maybe croquettes. I'm not sure. But
Okay. Well, this is what was wrong with my diet when I was younger, and then I discovered uni. Then I realized there's vegetables out there that are
Yeah.
not cooked to blackness.
and
where you-
fried.
Yeah, deep fried, and there's just one vegetable. So then I just started sorting myself out, and then I discovered exercise.
Wow.
Believe it or
Right.
not, when I was 21.
Same.
I'm still discovering.
Yeah, and then that's it. And then I got really into running, marathons. I done my first one in New York, and then I
Wow.
decided to do something different. And then I started getting triathlons when I was younger. This is
Wow.
all younger, so I learned how to swim. I taught myself how to swim. Cycle was kind of easy. It's easier cycling outside of London than it is here. And then everything just fell into place. So for a few years, I've done triathlons, and then
That's
I stopped.
amazing.
because-
Triathlon's like a major deal. Like, and you've done a few, you said.
It's a commitment.
Yeah.
I've not done any for a while, but I need
Right.
to get back into
I mean,
that.
you've been there, done that. That's the
Yeah,
thing, isn't
but
it?
They've
ultimately,
been there,
I
done
would-
that, got the medal.
No, I would love to. Well, yeah, but I would love to do an Ironman. But an
Okay.
Ironman is intense.
Right. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
commitment.
I guess, yeah, it would be a lifestyle thing where you have to like train like pretty much all the time.
Yeah, and you can't.
No, yeah,
Oh, honey.
And I like wine.
exactly.
Yeah, that's the
Live your life.
thing. That's
Sorry,
the
Karen.
thing.
It is a commitment. It's like 6 months to a year just to train for a triathlon.
Yeah.
If you're semi kind of healthy.
I'm just about to get into the gym like once a week at the moment.
You'll get into it. It's when it becomes part of your life and it's not like a chore,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you'll love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, because of all the body aches, as I get older, then I got into yoga, and it was kind of like, then I discovered that yoga is a way to stay fit without pushing yourself to the point where you're about to collapse.
You
Yeah.
say you discovered yoga, but like what made you discover the yoga then?
Well, I think I just kept on like pulling every single muscle by doing weights
Right.
and running and cycling and overdoing exercise and loads of cardio. And then I'd go to weights and I'd pull my neck and it was always tight. So one day I just kind of, I think my sister, who's older than me, who's my like little spiritual guru that always puts me on the right path when I'm kind of going the wrong way. She was like, you should try this yoga place and you should go here, you should do that. And then I discovered like hot yoga and Iyengar yoga, which is they're very two different things, but they kind of follow the same philosophy. And then I started getting into hot yoga and I love it. It's just like a sweat dress for like an hour and a half and poses. And, you know, there's one thing that I decided to do during lockdown that I said to myself, you like most people, and I'll ask you the same question. What did you guys want to do during lockdown and after lockdown? What was your like thing that you said was my thing was I'm going to learn how to do the splits. So I'm not going to do it here because I'm not warmed up and I'm not wearing the right pants, but I pretty much can do the splits, which is really weird when you go to the gym and people see an Indian guy doing the splits.
No, they're probably like, wow, he's flexible, man.
But
like,
yeah,
he can do some stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
You'd expect it to be the other way around though. But that was my thing, and that's why I started off, that and the piano. But that was the two things. How about yourself? What was your promise that you gave to yourself?
Shall I tell you something? Yeah, lockdown was a little bit different for me because I went to work every single.
As did I.
We were like key workers.
Yes,
as they say, you know.
Well,
so I didn't.
But you're doing good for the nation then.
I was, yeah.
You have a good heart. You're gonna go to heaven.
I am. Thank you.
I'm
so
not.
Nice.
But
we did a lot of cooking.
No, we did so much cooking, and
the Shroom cookbook.
Yeah, we pushed ourselves.
I've heard about, I like the Shroom.
Yeah, we pushed ourselves with the cooking in the lockdown, but also our podcast was still quite new, because we launched in November 2019. So then we were like rolling right into the pandemic.
Oh wow!
Really.
Okay.
So yeah, so then
good for you two. That yeah, the energy. You could have just been lazy and just watched.
I think it was nice as well. And it gave us a bit more time to like figure ourselves out and try a few different things. And because lots of creative people were at home, it was actually a chance for us to like really collaborate and work on that. So I think the podcast is something that we did. Otherwise, like I failed with anything else I wanted to do. Like I wanted to write an episode of a TV show. I didn't do it. Like, yeah.
We did DIY. We did my bedroom. We did my entire bedroom. Like took... filled in all the halls, sanded the...
That's a normal thing, isn't it? What's the state of your bedroom?
No, but...
You know, everyone did a makeover of their house in the pandemic.
Yeah, but you know, me, I'm not a DIY girl at all. Like, I won't know. I don't
want to do it myself.
I can't do it. I don't want to do it. But we did it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Good for you.
And my brother
did nothing.
He sat there.
I'm not joking.
Was he prancing around the house thinking, I'm the guy, and then when you asked him,
he did make the chai, that's about it. But like,
that sounds like role reverse.
But like heavy lifting, like we had like wooden floor delivery, and we were like lifting it so heavy, pushing it back to at the back of the house, ready to be put down. Did he help? Did he lift a finger? No. Did he sand down the walls? Did he paint? Did he even give us a paintbrush? No.
We were bashing him though, innit?
Yeah, I don't care, bruv. You didn't do nothing in that house. You live in that room, you did nothing, bruv. Nothing. I did that. Anyway.
It's true though, yeah. You know, I'll pass.
So yeah, I was about to say all this, you know, you talking about your cooking or your love of food and how you're doing up the church/house. You know, you're basically inviting us to your house.
Yeah,
you're welcome, and I will feed you all the goody snacks in the world. And you would appreciate that. I'll just have all the doubles.
China store. I'm there in the morning.
Yeah. You think we won't come? Like we're
there.
serious
Okay,
about
maybe I
food.
don't know what I'm getting myself involved. You're more than welcome to come.
You heard it here, people. We're going round. So yeah, you do have a love of cooking, and in Indian Matchmaking, which we're going to talk about very soon, you mentioned how you want to take a sabbatical and you want to go to Oaxaca. Is it Oaxaca? Osaka?
Yes, it's Oaxaca.
Oaxaca.
Because people, the way it's spelled, it looks, you know, you pronounce it, English people pronounce it differently.
Yeah.
I might be pronouncing it differently too. But my aim is, like, before lockdown, I want to take a sabbatical. I want to move to Mexico. I just want to spend another, like, I just need a bit of a career break and just to spend time discovering myself, doing something different, living somewhere. Because when you go on holiday, you never really, until you live there. And what I hate is when people say, we're going to go and this is my bucket list. I've done that place. I've done this place. And I hate it when people say that. It's like, how do you, just because you took a couple of snaps in some heritage sites and you say you've done it, you never go there. But until you live there and you understand the people, the culture, blah, blah, blah. That's when you truly live there. So I'd love to go to 1-2 places in Mexico and just settle down. learn Spanish. I've been trying to learn Spanish for like
Oh, good.
4
Duolingo?
years. That and the rest. Even lessons in, like
Oh,
from,
wow.
you can do like, I think it's coffee Spanish or coffee something, and you can actually have lessons from native like people from Spanish speaking areas of the world, and they will sit down and do Spanish lessons with you, but they give you homework and you're like, oh, homework. And it's just like, I think I just need to really get into the culture. They force you need to go to a place that there's no tourists, or there is tourists, but you're just forced to speak the language.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And that's the thing. They don't like it when you don't speak the language there. They're like, why are you here then?
Yeah.
It's like going to France or something and you don't.
Oh, they
speak
hate the French. Hate it.
Well, I mean,
Barcelona.
that's probably on the lower kind of like, you have to speak
Yeah.
the language, or try to speak the language.
Yeah,
I get that.
they'll
I get
respect you so much more
yeah,
for it.
if you're trying.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think going to Oaxaca, just appreciating the food, the culture. I think it's very similar to maybe our own culture. Just from the way we live, appreciate family. You know, there's a close knit.
They are
kind of
very
culture.
family oriented
Yeah,
over there.
and
isn't
especially
it?
how spicy their food is in Mexico.
ooh.
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
spicy. Oh, you
Well,
like it's
yeah.
spicy.
Oh, I love it spicy. There's this place in Borough Market. I think I've mentioned it even before, but
Are you trying to plug? Is this like a little shameless
No,
plug?
it's
There's
not.
no
It's-
affiliation to the place.
Look,
Sponsor
sponsor me, yeah. But I'm telling you, it's the best taco.
By the way,
I've
she
ever had
likes
in my life.
wine too. You can sponsor any wine companies.
Sponsor us. We're looking for it. No, there's this place you'll love in Borough Market.
Yeah.
It's called Padre or Tacos Padre, and they
Yeah.
do this steak taco with the spiciest sauce
Okay.
I've ever had. Like I found it too spicy, but it was fun spicy. You know when
Okay.
you're like, but you go in for another bite because it's
actually
fun,
hungry.
and then you have
Yeah.
it with a frozen margarita.
Ooh.
Oh,
So
that sounds good.
So
That
good.
sounds
Have a
good.
mark.
So good. Yeah. Highly
Yes.
recommend.
So they've got their chilies, they've got their markets. That's what I hope to discover.
yeah.
I mean, there's so much opportunities to like learn food and chilies and make your own brands and hot sauces. I just think you really need to just like, this is just even to yourselves. By the sounds of it, you just need to get out your comfort zone and just travel.
I mean, I would love to live in a different country. And I swear to God, if we didn't have to work, I think we would do that.
I'm
Have we-
planning on
Have you
traveling.
both? From what have you both traveled, or have you? What's your kind of history in terms of backpacking and traveling?
I mean, I've done a lot of the
you're like
US.
backpacking.
I want to know. My plan is to travel because
Yeah.
I just know in my life, like if I do any settling down at one point, before that, I want to have something truly for me.
Yeah.
And I know that this traveling experience will just be something that no one can take away from me. I hope to, learn something about myself or the world, or have a different perspective. Like anytime I go anywhere on a weekend trip or a holiday, whatever, like I try and immerse myself in wherever I am as much as possible.
Do
Yeah.
that.
Uh,
Yeah.
Thank you. And I would love to do that for at least 6 months, like, consecutively, and really get lost in it and just learn new things, do new things, push myself. Like, I just want something really
You don't even
for
know
me.
what life is until you really travel, I feel.
Yeah.
When you're in a different country and you're like, oh my God, like there's so much more to flipping Hounslow. You're like, wow. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I hope you leave the
I
yeah,
do.
borough
yeah,
of
like we
Hounslow.
never leave
It's
it.
no,
like-
but this is the thing. But no,
It's not
Do
me.
we need a passport to
Maybe you, not
no,
me.
but okay, the first time I left and I did like, when I went to the US and I did the road trip and I did summer camp in the US and stuff like that.
I
thought
did
was-
it too.
Did
for
you?
2 summers.
Oh my God, I
That's
only
what
did it for
started my
one.
travels.
Oh, I
Come
wish.
to America.
Yeah, I wish I did it again. Like, I wish I did it like years before as well, because I did it my last year of uni.
Yeah.
So I missed my graduation and everything to do this, but I was
I
like,
did
epic.
exactly the same. I missed it because it started at just mid-June.
Yeah.
And it was like graduation or 2-3 months in the States. And when you're 18, 19,
Yeah.
20, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry, and you loved it. It's the best experience of your life.
Best experience of
Yeah.
my goddamn life, honestly.
still
And
talks about the
Americans
kids.
are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I love Americans.
Yeah.
They have a. they love like British Indians. They're like.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do. They love it. They think we're so like spicy.
One person called me exotic, and I don't think they meant that in a bad way, but I'll take it, honey. Like, yeah.
If you go anywhere outside of, I want to say Europe,
Yeah.
and especially as Indians, and you go somewhere, and even if you go to South America, Central America, anywhere, they like really like welcoming
Yeah.
Indians. They watch, like when I went Argentina and I lived there, well, I traveled, I lie, I was there for like 3 months or whatever. But when you go there, they watch Bollywood movies. They like shout out Shah Rukh Khan. They really appreciate it. And this is why when you go to countries in the world that are not that developed, that are still developing, like India, South America, Mexico, Central America, they really appreciate, like they have a connection to the Indian culture more so than we would think. and they watch Bollywood movies. They find it
God, I
really,
love that.
and that's why they think it's exotic. They will shout out,
Yeah.
walking down the street, they'll shout out Deepika at you, probably.
I love it. Oh my God.
Yeah,
They
that's
do, yeah. When I went to Istanbul, they kept being like, "Oh, Rani, oh, Kajal,"
queen.
and I was
There you
like,
go.
I just got called London Princess out there. That's what I got.
"You are London
Called.
princess."
Yeah, it really was.
But yeah, it's getting out, like going to countries that are still not westernized.
Yeah.
That are still like trying to find their feet. That's what like the love of traveling. I think everyone needs to do that and spend a few months abroad.
Yeah.
And feeling nervous. You know, something that I've realized as you get older, when you were probably 20, 21, when you go traveling for the first time, you're like nervous and you feel like you hate this kind of experience. And then when you're older and you lose that, you actually miss it. That you're in an unfamiliar situation and you're like, you miss that kind of, when you're so comfortable with yourself and being by yourself, you miss being nervous. And when you travel by yourself, it's like, that's why you.
But also it gives you the confidence because honestly, like when I did the Camp America, I honestly like, it taught me like I can go anywhere by myself. I can just hop on a plane and go. There's so many people, even my friends now, like I don't want to go on the plane by myself. And I'm like, bro, get the fuck on there and get the fuck out of here. Like, and live your life. Like, honestly, it's taught me. I think I was a little bit, I probably would have been the person to be like, oh no, I need someone. But it just develops you as a person, as an individual.
Yeah. But at the same time, I do get going back, if you're a female Indian woman traveling by yourself to somewhere randomly, like there is, even just a woman, there is a bit of a hesitation that guys would have.
Yeah.
Like, I can go anywhere and I think I'll be safe. I can go to South America. I'll be okay. I'll probably blend in quite easily because I don't stand out. And everyone's like, oh, you're Peruvian. I was like, I'm happy to be Peruvian. Because I just fit in.
You could pass for it, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I usually go with. Everyone's like, oh, you're from Peru. And I was like, yeah, I think I am. But if you're an Indian woman and you're traveling, like just a woman traveling by yourself, it's a lot.
Yeah, no,
it's
you're
a little
right.
bit more daunting. You're a bit more safer about yourself.
You're right.
Yeah, and females I know who, especially in Mexico, like most females I know who've travelled there have said they do feel unsafe, and there is like
You do latch onto maybe a guy group that you feel a bit safer.
Just because they any woman I know who's travelled Mexico have said that they just feel uncomfortable with the way that men look at them and approach them, and it's just a bit
And that's why it's important to like find a group of friends or like a travel group or something like that. I didn't mean like, oh yeah, girls are just scared. I'm just talking about like developing your character is what I meant.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But it's easier for me to say that than it is. I don't walk in your shoes.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, we appreciate
that's really nice of you. That is.
Yeah.
So you went to India recently.
Yes, I actually went in the past July. In the past 8 months, I've went there twice, and I've spent probably about 4 months in total.
Amazing.
I mean, one was for a holiday, taking my mum there, because she spends a lot of time there. That's the homeland, in a similar homeland to where you guys are from.
Tasha's never been though.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, Nikki. Anyway,
you
I've
were
never
holding.
been.
You were gonna what?
Yeah, I've never been to India. I was gonna tell you, we just went to the pub. I was gonna tell you in there, and then I was like, let me tell you on the podcast. But I've never been to India.
How come?
28.
Why
I don't
come?
know. It just never happened, and like I'm dying to
the
go.
parents and never thought ship you to India and like you're at this age now. We need to get you married.
No,
that didn't even come about.
I had the year I had the opportunity to go for a wedding, for a family wedding. I ended up moving to New York for 6 months. I was like, New York for 6 months or India for like 2 weeks for a wedding. I chose New York.
It's like the Camp America situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I chose New York, but like I am dying to go. And you know, like when you know that you already love
it's
this
calling
place.
you. You know,
It's
the
calling
one
me.
thing, if you've got an unsettling feeling, I can tell you what this is, that you don't know what it is, it's because you need to go to your homeland.
Yeah.
And there's people like us when you're walking down the street, you're like, you look the same as me, and you'll notice it everywhere. Like if you walk around London, you might see if in Hounslow.
yeah, in Hounslow, you see everyone is.
Yeah.
But if you've not got, are your family in India?
Yeah.
Have you got a big family?
We've got lots of family in India, like sporadically here and there. But like, I am dying to go because, like I said, like you know when you just know that when I have this like thing that when I actually get off the plane. I've heard that it stinks, whatever, but
it does not stink. Like,
there's a smell to India, and that's all it is.
Listen, India's changed. We'll talk about this in a second. When you finish off your little story, India's changed so much for the past 25 years. Like
exactly.
Really?
Yeah, but sorry, go ahead.
And
so you need to go. Yeah.
So yeah, I need to go, and I just know that I'm gonna like cry or something there. I just know it, and
You'll
I just
probably,
need to
like, feel the ground.
Yeah, and I want to like eat everything and not get food poisoning, but I would want to eat everything.
So if you've never went, when I was probably like. I went most of my life when I was younger. My parents all my family's in India.
Yeah.
But they kind of shipped me off, and not shipped me off, but when I went there with them, they made an effort, because I've got no family pretty much in the UK, and when you go there, you don't like it when you're younger. I remember when I was going, I was like 7, 8, and there's food poisoning galore, losing weight. It's like the natural diet pill everyone talks about. And then when you're older, and I went more recently to see my mom and my dad when he was around, and then it's changed so much, like Mumbai, even Surat and Gujarat. That's like the epicenter of kind of like Gujarat, and there's other areas too. And that, okay, fair enough. It's like any other country. There is going to be like poverty, which is kind of sad to see, but you need to see it. But there is the smells, but it's like food. It's exciting. Yes. It's like people working. It's not like so clean like living here. It's like you really feel like you're actually living. And when you go to India, you actually just feel like talking to people and how nice people are with nothing. And they will feed you with nothing, like 20p's, and that's like what they get paid a week. And then you actually just feel like, you know what, it's so humble to be living in this country, and it'll make you love to live in Hounslow and appreciate what you've got. And when you go India, but you'll feel a sense of belonging. Yeah.
This is exactly it. Like I need to go to, because I know that's when I go, I'll have that fulfillment. I know it, and I want to go to like the orphanages and the slums and this and that, just to I already appreciate, and like I feel like, you know, I'm an Aquarius. I'm very like humanitarian. I really just want to help people, and I want to heal the world, and I just want to spread my love over there.
Okay, Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
So I've been to India twice, but not with my immediate family. I went once with my cousins on my dad's side, and then the last time I went was 2008 on a school trip. I'm going to give you an open invite now. I've already invited you to the place. You need to go in. You need to experience Gujarat. You need to experience. I went backpacking in India years ago, and it's not that expensive. The food is amazing, and you can get around India. Go on train everywhere you go. You can fly. Like the Mumbai has developed so much in the past, like 10, 20 years. It's amazing. Like the lifestyle that you would live. I want to live in Mumbai for 6 months.
Forget London. Like in Mumbai, it's like the lifestyle that you can live and you can give back to people in Mumbai.
Should we just go then?
I think we should.
I think you could start your podcast. Like you can continue your podcast.
We could.
I have plans. I have plans for something like that.
I have plans. What about?
I know you're like, what about? Hang on, I've not heard.
She
your
does
plans.
it so often. She's like, I this. Oh, sponsor me. And I'm like, it's called 2 chickpeas, yeah.
Sometimes the chickpea has to go by itself.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
An elder sibling thing. I don't know, but yeah, we want to go, and hopefully
this is
next
a chat
year.
after the show.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get it all. But yeah, we're hoping to go next year because me and my friends want to celebrate our 30th out there. So
you know what? That's a good idea. Forget like Vegas. Forget going to these expensive places. I think India's a good place, and your money will go further.
Yeah, we want to do like Mumbai and Goa together, and then like I might travel either with Natasha or a friend. Like just travel like all of India.
I like it how you just included her either way.
Oh, I don't know. Like she's got all these plans I never get invited to, and
like,
stuff.
You never know. You might meet your Bollywood star, and then he might just whisk you off your feet and take you in his little, take you under his arm, and then happy days. Who's my sister? I don't know.
Yeah, and also some of the people in Indian Matchmaking, I'm like, I'd go on a date with them. You know, like in the India episodes, like I'd go on a date with them. Yeah. I could hit up Seema and.
So who specifically have you seen from Indian Matchmaking that you would go on a date with, apart from Vim?
It's taken. No, there was a guy in the first season. I don't know about I think he got married actually.
I might know the names. Is it Pratush? He's an Indian guy. The jeweler.
The jeweler.
He was cool.
He's a cook. He's a top chef at home as well. And that's what intrigued me about him.
How about I like the chicken guy from Nasik?
Oh yeah.
He is a cool guy. I liked him.
Yeah.
I know Nasik's a bit further out, and I think that's the thing that people didn't want to move to there. But I mean, he was really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
I could hang out with him.
I also don't want to move there either, but I'll go on a date with you. So yeah, cool. Who? Oh God, I'm so bad. Like the wine has just gone to my head, and I've forgotten everyone's name.
Give us a insight into their persona, or
they also went to India together in the 3rd season.
So this was Viraj.
Yes.
And
what's her name?
Ashay?
Yeah, Ashay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he's so nice. And I think they're such a good pairing together.
Yeah.
And all the guys I like, you already taken. But I think they're cool.
Well, let's talk about your season.
Yeah.
Oh, season 3, episode 4. That's the one I want to know.
That's the one that matters.
It's the one that's named after me.
I
That's
know.
why.
Top note appreciator, which we are. No, it's important. I do get where Priya's coming from. I mean, I think girls, if we really like a guy, we'll take you however you are. But me personally, I like to run my hands through someone's hair if I'm kissing them. Do you know what I mean? So I get where the bald thing comes from, why she wanted a
Oh,
top knot
okay,
guy.
okay. I mean, the hair thing, I didn't know it was a thing until... This is my own thing since lockdown. I was like, I'm not going to cut my hair. It took 3 years. It's like, I mean,
Wow.
I'm not competing with you, but it's about still here.
Wow.
Nice.
I've learned how to look after hair. But yeah, I get why now. I'm slowly getting why girls like long hair.
I don't think I ever really had a preference, but like it's such a thing that girls really do appreciate that. So
This whole... Every guy has short back and sides. Like most Asian guys have short back and sides, and it's like if you go back and you look at guys in the olden days, whether it's here or in India, men and women used to have long hair.
Yeah.
There wasn't this thing of shaving all the way and having like an army cut.
yeah.
And it was kind of like I don't know.
It's a bad boy style, that's why, innit?
Well, I used to have the earrings
Did
and
you?
short back and sides.
Oh my
Because I'm from Leicester at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I used to have I used to have piercings.
You had the slits in the
Wow.
eyebrows.
No, I didn't go that far. I wasn't
Okay.
cool
Oh,
enough.
wow.
I was like a little shy boy when I was younger.
Aw.
I was like a little trying to be cool, but I wasn't fitting in. That wasn't my look.
Oh.
And then I was just like, right, I've just realised I'm like a baba.
Baba.
Babe.
Baba.
A little bit.
I think I'm a bit of a guru. Baba Vim. Vim Dev.
Baba
Baba
Vim.
Vim Dev.
Oh,
That's it.
I love that.
That's the name of this episode.
But yeah, no, I think, I don't know, it's a personal preference. Guys will like their own hair and either cut it every 3 weeks or they won't want to cut their hair. And I've realised, you know what having long hair is? You don't need to actually do anything.
Exactly. Just
You
tie it up and
literally
go.
just tie it up
Yeah.
and then you got the stragglers when it rains and you just slap it down.
Love that. Love that.
But that's it. But yeah, the hair thing. So that was the hair thing. But everyone, yeah. So Priya had her little thing about hair, and I did not
And it
know
worked.
this thing about hair. This was just me, and she was like, oh, she likes long hair.
Oh, that's good
Yeah.
then.
So, yeah.
Digging
It's a
it.
preference.
So Indian matchmaking then. So you was it the same process as it was for Priya? Did you guys have to apply or like work with Seema Auntie or what?
Yeah,
Like,
do you go to Seema or do you go to Netflix? What
Yeah.
happens?
I mean, I had a very different experience. I got approached on social media.
okay, interesting.
Mm.
I didn't apply for it.
Okay.
I think they saw the picture when I was like 23 in a tuxedo, which I wasn't on social media before Netflix. Like, if you look at the history, there's probably like some old Facebook pictures.
It's a
which
big
you-
jump from
Yeah.
like 2018
Yeah.
to like now or something.
Yeah, and then I just didn't exist, and then there was a gap in my life, and then I came back. And then like I got some messages on social media, and I was like, okay, are you interested in this thing? And I was like, what was this for?
Did you know Indian matchmaking before you got approached?
I watched it during lockdown because that's when
Okay.
everyone watched like 4 shots and they watched
Yeah.
Indian
Yes,
matchmaking.
yes,
And
yes,
it was
yes.
like, that was a good, like 4 shots was really
That was
good.
good.
Like Damini I can tell Damini reach out.
yeah.
She was like amazing in that program, and 4 shots was like the Indian Sex and City, weren't it?
Yeah. it
Yes,
was.
yeah.
And then someone told me about watching Indian matchmaking. I was just like, okay, let me get into this. And I was like, this is a bit... At first, I don't watch dating shows, Love Island or whatever. I don't watch any of that because I just think, oh, this is like a girl's thing. And I was just like, let me watch Indian matchmaking. And is it going to reflect? And I'm kind of one of those people that are quite private about relationships.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, watch it. I was like, it's interesting. It was juicy gossip. And I was just like watching it. It's quite funny. It's like you can put yourself in that situation. And then I never thought when they approached me the other year, last year, like I would be on the show, and then kind of approach me on social media. There's no application process because I think they just wanted someone that wasn't in media, that wasn't trying.
And that's what I appreciate. It was the authenticity. Like it is just normal people. I feel like there's so many shows that they scout these like these personalities, these
People
influencers.
go on
like,
Love Island to get something more than
Yeah.
Love Island.
Yeah.
You know
And then
what I
that's the
mean?
thing, that the show wasn't, you don't get paid in dues or anything like that. And I think if there was a payment part of it, then they would have kind of like, people would go
Right.
to get paid.
Right.
But this was, you just have an interest in
Yeah.
finding someone. And I was like,
Exactly.
I kind of knew when they said it's a matchmaking show. I was like, well, I'm Indian and I'm single and it's probably Indian matchmaking. So I went through the process. It was pretty simple.
Yeah.
But I think at one point I was meant to be one of the characters, but then they kind of switched it around because they focused generally at this first start in India and America.
Yeah.
Right.
And they kind of season 3, they kicked it off with
The
the UK.
Yeah.
And then they had Seema on the bus and it was
Yeah.
everything like that.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, wow. But yeah, and, you know, I spoke to the producers, I spoke to Seema Auntie. And then it just kind of just flew off within a very short period of time.
Wow.
So you were really open to the whole process, right? You weren't like, oh, I don't know.
But I was just kind of just like, oh yeah, it's just like, well, I went on dates. I've been dating women in my past and stuff like that, and everything's been fine. But I was just like, let me try something new. Let's see what new comes to my door. Like maybe I've not been getting it right and going for whether it's like a pretty girl or something like this, or a certain aspect of like fitness that I like. Like, you know, if I could find a girl that does triathlons, but then if I find a girl, then I'll get I'll find it too competitive, and I'll probably not like it. So generally, in my past, I'm always like, I want someone similar to me,
Right.
and then it's too competitive. Then it's like, you're so similar to me that I feel like I'm competing with you.
Well, you and Priya
So-
have like similar interests.
Yeah.
But you're so different as well. in
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
that's
do.
true. That's true. We have a similar interest in certain areas, but then we have our own things that we
Right.
are. Like,
Yeah.
I like doing my swimming, and like the amount of times I said you're gonna go to a swimming pool and swim in a 50-meter pool in Stratford, and then I don't think that she would want
That's
to.
not her
She would
vibes.
do it because she'd splash around, but I don't
Yeah.
think she wants to spend like a Saturday morning
Yeah.
swimming like 2K in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
That's your thing.
that's
innit?
my thing.
Yeah.
So I can't expect her to
Yeah.
like. But you know, I'm trying to push her into yoga.
I'm
I
sure
think
you'll get there.
I think yoga will
Fitness.
like can help everybody.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my
No, I mean, you're
when she
inspiring me.
discovers the deep relaxation bit at the end, where
Yeah,
you kind
w-
of just sleep for a little bit.
Yeah, when
she
you
might get
Oh,
into
oh,
we
is
it.
that your
talked about it at the
favorite
end.
pose when you just like lie down and do
Lie
nothing?
Sometimes, yeah, I don't know. I have a bit of a really spiritual experience during that actually, and it stopped me from going back to yoga actually.
Oh,
Cause,
did you? Because
Yeah,
it
it's,
brought a lot of things home. Or
yeah.
or-
I've done it like quite a few times, and there's something that happens in that relaxation bit, and it just unleashes so much emotion. Like I just like burst out crying once. I had a flashback once, and I had to just
Wow.
like get up and leave.
Yoga.
Because it's very powerful.
Nice.
It's very powerful what it can do to your mind, and it just unlocked so many things for me. And actually, that's the bit I'm scared of. So I've not gone back because of that, but I want to.
You
because
should totally.
yeah, I do want to go back, especially since I have my back problem this year as well. Like,
Oh,
I'm
I've got the same.
yeah.
One, I've got lower back problems probably because I'm going old. But second, I agree. Like, there's other various treatments that people do burst into laughter. There's
Yeah.
like trauma that's like
stuck in your body.
stuck in you. I have the same. Like when I was growing up, like that you just don't know that you're dealing with, and like that it brings it up to the surface, and you need to release. Otherwise, you bottle it up, and it's going to affect you in the future. But yoga is like a good way to slowly get into it.
Yeah.
But by the sounds of it, you had a
Inspiring.
bit of an experience.
I think, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
do it often, but every time I do, I really connect with the experience. And there is something about the deep relaxation, but yeah, it's relaxing, but it is a massive release for me. And I'm not someone who likes a release.
Can handle it. You're like, oh, what's going on?
I'm just like, I don't
Okay,
like
we're gonna
that.
take her there.
But you
yeah.
can do like guided yoga, like if
Yeah.
you do 1-to-1, and that's quite therapeutic.
Yeah, I'm
But
going to give it a go
yeah,
again. I'm
yeah.
going to give it a go. I live directly next to a yoga center. Can you
You
believe?
should go.
Yeah.
You should go. It's calling you. But yeah, that was the matchmaking kind of experience, going on TV for the first time, which was shy at the start. I was super nervous in episode 1. If you see me sweating. I was twitching, and I was just like, there was
I
lights and
didn't
everything.
notice that at all. I thought you
Yeah,
were quite
but
a
you don't
cool
come across it.
cucumber.
Yeah.
Oh really? And
Yeah.
then in the second episode, I was like totally fine. I was like, I love
Yeah.
the camera. I'm like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to be a bit of a drama queen. I like put me in front of a camera.
I
That's it.
also really liked the story of you and Priya as well, because obviously Priya had been through a few dates already. But when
Yeah.
it came to you, and it wasn't just straightforward. It was like you guys, you had your challenges, and
Yes, yeah.
you know, your communication, and it was really authentic. And I think that it was just like, it kind of reflected a kind of normal relationship, actually, isn't it? When like the girl or the guy gets cold feet, and like there's like this little
Yeah, there was kind of like an up and down where I was kind of sorry, let me put this down. Where I was kind of like super into her, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Why does he like me so much?"
right.
I
get
don't think that.
that.
You were super into her. That
I
was
think I was just
off-putting.
being me.
Yeah, I think
and I was
you
just like,
were
oh,
too.
I fancy you. I
Yeah.
like you. Like, I'm just letting my interest be known, because most women want a guy that's straight talking, just
Yeah.
says, "Look, you
Exactly.
like me, stop playing
Yeah.
games."
Yeah.
So I thought I'll approach this, which I've in the past, where you just go to a woman and say, "Look, I
Yeah.
think you're really pretty, and I like your vibe,
Yeah.
and you've got a good aura." But little did I know that there was going to be a bit of a challenge with it, but which was fine. Like we worked through it.
It's a girl thing though, because it's true. You're right in what you say. Girls do want that. They don't want someone who plays games. They want someone who's quite straight up, says it how it is, means what they say. But sometimes, and I've been privy to this, when it is real and you're like, oh, this is a real prospect, like this could actually go somewhere, and oh my God, I'm actually starting to get the feels for this person. It becomes real all of a sudden. It's like whatever dating you were doing beforehand, you take with a pinch of salt. Everyone's got bad date stories and stuff, but when there's something about it like, oh, this really has potential, this could be real, and there's something that just sometimes scares you as a woman to sort of let your guard down, isn't
and
it?
I like
and
that you held it down as well, and you did say like, no, this is just me, like I'm not gonna like pretend that I'm something else, or you were just you. I really
and you had the
appreciate
confidence to be like, actually, you should maybe see if that's a you issue rather than a me issue.
Yeah.
And I love that you did that as
Oh,
well. Yeah, I was rooting for you guys. I was like kind of talking to the TV, screaming at it. I was just like, Priya, no, you don't mean that. You don't mean that.
I mean, there was a point where I was just like, you know what? I tried it this way. Maybe I should go back to the old Vim way of working and just play the games, because sometimes that does seem to work. Like
No,
you can put on a little persona where you're like, okay, I like you, but let me work with it a little bit, because it sounds like you want to be chased a little bit, and you want this kind of like, I like you, I don't like you, let me kind of like be quiet a bit and withdraw and come back. And I was just like, well, I'm doing it for TV, and I'm kind of representing myself and guys where I'm coming from. So if I portray myself as this kind of like
fuckboy.
Fuckboy is a good way to put it. You could use another word.
Like, who's that American guy? He's the fuckboy. The guy who's like, I want an Indian-speaking person. And he gets one, and he's like, nah, she's too Indian for me.
No, but I get what you mean, but at the same time, like I think he was kind of like, it's like when you meet someone, you kind of think that you want this kind of person, and then you realize you want this kind of person. And I saw that. It's like, I want an Indian-speaking person, you got it, but then I want a Western person. And I think us being all Western Indians, it's kind of like, do we exactly know what we want? We want someone with maybe similar values, whether it's Indian background or not, similar like family values, but then we don't want something that's too similar to us. And you don't know until you kind of get a nice balance.
That's it, isn't it?
But you held yourself down though, like you were very true to yourself. You kind of just said it is how it is, and you're like, look, I like you, and I don't think I'm being too forward. I think this is going nice, and I think it was nice for Priya to sort of have a think and was like, oh actually like,
I
it's fine. And then she's gone from that to being like, oh, we're going too fast, to like, I'll go India with you. So do you know what I mean? Isn't that, I don't know.
I think the philosophy that I've always said is, if you live in the present, and I know it's easier for a guy, and we did talk about, was it male privilege? I can probably get away just like going for the next 5-10 years and just assume that I've got male privilege, which I didn't know was a term
you
until
got it, baby.
recently. And then I'm like, well, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but I can just run with it. But I get the fact that some people have priorities in their life, but it's like, live in the present. If you worry too much about the future, you're going to kind of ruin what is kind of developing right now.
Exactly.
But again, because, you know, we were talking about male privilege and things before, and, you know, you as a man have the ability to sort of think freely, do freely, and we're probably given that experience growing up as well. Whereas if you're an Indian woman, you're really quite conditioned from a young age to behave a certain way, to have certain attitudes, to practice certain things when it comes to, I don't know, religion, like your role in the household, like cooking, cleaning, responsibility, even just how you're treated differently to your brothers or your father, or, you know, it's just there from the get-go. And I think it's quite nice that you were just able to show Priya, like, you don't have to do this either. Do you know what I mean?
I think also, what goes into it, and I did say, oh, my leg, is, I'm getting old now, that's the thing. I've got like 2 very strong women in my life, my mom and my sister, older sister, and I kind of seen their struggles being their certain role in their life. And they conformed, my mom did, when she came to this country, in a certain role. And my sister had to, like, being the older sister, being the first generation, like, speak English for the rest of the family and deal with all the paperwork and the legal side of everything, like, just everything. So I kind of grew up with that, as having 2 strong women in my life. But then you get, like, Indian men who don't have that. They don't have exposure to having some strong women in their life, so they don't know. They think the cultural norms that you see on TV are how men should treat women and behave. So, but I'm still battling between, sometimes there's things I do that are not really like right, and nowadays like how I would maybe say that certain things, but I'm still learning. And you're like with your hands, you're like.
God, you go.
No,
You go
but
first.
that's nice that you're
Yeah.
open to learning. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? I think that's all any girl wants, because I think there is this thing, especially if you're in Indian culture, men are raised one way, women are raised another.
Yeah.
We, in this generation and time we're in as well, I think we are trying to create more of an equilibrium as much as possible in regards to that. But, you know, throughout the history of time, you know, there's been differences between men and women and your roles and your expectations of one another and things. So I think it's nice and it's refreshing to hear a man say, like, actually, I'm just still learning, and I didn't know what male privilege was until recently. I didn't know what gaslighting was until recently. But the fact that you're learning and you're like taking it on board, that's all a woman could ask for, I think. Yeah.
No, I see what you mean, but there is things that are that, as I said, the newer age kids say nowadays. I have no idea what they're talking about when you talk about gaslighting, and like there's these certain slang terms that I'm like, can you just say it in plain English?
But now you can understand what it is, and you can maybe like
And I was
understand
like,
when
was
you
that
are.
what I was doing for the past 10 years of my life? No,
So you understand the concept now then?
I understand it,
Yeah.
but I didn't know there was a term behind it.
Yeah, I think again, we as women as well are learning this as well. Like me growing up, we were talking about even things like consent, for example, right? There was a show I watched that educated me so much on consent. It's called I May Destroy You. It came out during the pandemic on BBC. Michaela Cole, amazing. You would love it. And I learned about gaslighting through that. I learned all about consent through that. And I couldn't believe that there were so many experiences like that were highlighted in the show that I had also gone through. And I was like, oh, like I should have given consent to that, and I didn't, and I went through that experience, and then I kind of felt a way about it at the time, like certain scenarios, and I'm like, oh, I should have more voice or a say, but no one's been there to show us that beforehand necessarily either.
You need those kind of role models, and some people don't have that.
So yeah, so we are in a different generation now, where even like it's not like anyone would have known anything like terms like gaslighting or male privilege and things. Like the generations before us definitely didn't, and like we're teaching our mum as much as we're learning through the podcast, and we sort of pass that on to her, and it's all like a full circle really. So yeah, it's like the fact that you're even willing to learn, wow, amazing. You wouldn't believe how desirable that is in a man, like simple things that women can't get, trust me.
Okay.
You're the guy, Vim.
You're the guy.
You're the guy.
I'll take it on board.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna have to have you back on at some
Thank
point.
you for
I think
having me. I appreciate
this
this.
conversation,
Yeah,
this flew by,
we
innit?
can do another.
Yeah, we can.
One. I
If
think
you
we can.
wanna come back.
Yeah.
We would love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it was nice to meet you.
And
I'll be back.
we're
thank
friends now.
you.
We're coming over. Shine us still.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I mean that.
Like blog.
Oh, wow.
Until next time, though, it's been your girl Nikita.
It's been your girl Tash.
Vim.
It's your boy Bim, and you've been listening to Two Chickpeas on a podcast.